What's up, guys? It's Ben 10,000 Joe, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and today I want to hang myself because this deck is fucking annoying. So, obviously you can tell I'm probably not thrilled about this deck, but I did the best I could, alright? The truth is, this deck profile was a requested deck from a viewer who wanted a Hopeless Dragon deck. Well, now I don't understand why it's called Hopeless, because it's hopeless to make it work! Anyway. So, to make it work, I had to mix it with the Layer of Darkness structure deck. It was the only thing that I could think of that could, you know, utilize Dark Dragons to their full potential. Because essentially, according to the wiki, the reason it is called a Hopeless Dragon deck is because it was hopeless to make it work. And then, of course, in the wiki it mentions that Dark Dragons were the key theme of the deck. So to stick with that, I was like, okay, well, and obviously not. If you looked in the old deck, not all of the monsters that were key to the original Hopeless Dragon deck were dragons. The big key was Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Now, we only have one. So, the Layer of Darkness structure deck really kind of does... It's really a Layer of Darkness structure deck with some Dark Dragons in it. But, I made it work, so I'm going to show it to you guys. to give the people what they want, much to my own expense and my own annoyance. Sometimes I think you guys just want to torture me. That being said, if you're new here, guys, this is how we do things around here. We have this little discussion in the front, then there's going to be a little bit of replay footage, and then once we're done with that, I will have the deck profile on the screen, and we'll go over the deck, and I'll, you know, talk about combos, etc., and all that good jazz. And card choice explanations as well. So, without further ado, let's take a shot in the dark, so, shall we? This one's a little on the short side, and it is so on purpose. I admit it. I cannot stand this deck. It drives me batty. I really wanted to bring you guys the Hopeless Dragon deck that was asked for, but, you know, the truth is, it's in the name. Like I said at the beginning, it's a hopeless cause at the moment. You're going to have to mix it with a deck that isn't normally a dragon-based one. But I did the best I could. So, normally, from what I've seen in a lot of the virus decks, they only play one of the Darkest Diabolos. I tried to play 3, it was too cloggy, 2 seemed to be the right number there. We are playing the one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, but if I had more, I would play more. Of course, if I played more, then it would probably work. And then, of course, I played the 2 Malefic Stardust Dragon. This is to protect the field spell, as well as give us something to banish for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. We got Dark Arm Dragon, because this deck can easily fill the grave with dark monsters, so it's really easy. And you know, come on, if this dude was at 3, he would still be a powerhouse. Alright, so this is another one. I know this card isn't technically a dragon card, but neither was Sky Scourge Norealis or the Dark Creator in the original build, so I don't want to hear it from the purist out there. Basically, we have a lot of fiends, we have a lot of dragons, we tribute those fiends and dragons, summon this guy, we can discard a card, destroy a spell or trap card. He does quite a bit, and then of course in the process of tributing those monsters on our side of the board, the field spell will then give us back those monsters later as tokens, which we can use to make some of our link plays. Mana Dragon Zernitron. Basically, this card is essentially yeah, go ahead, blow up my field spell, I dare you, or blow up my back row, I dare you, because this card will basically put it all back. Your opponent blows up one of your cards or banishes it, this card hits the board, and then, you know, so you get a body, and you'll get your card back. See, it's pretty simple. Arima, the Wicked Warden. The way I'm looking at this is the Layer of Darkness structure deck is actually one of the decks that still is going to work, because the truth is, like, with Terraforming being hit and looking probably like we're going to copy the OCG at some point, Terraforming is probably going to go down to 1. This is going to be one of the few decks that survives because they have their own Terraforming without the need to waste a normal summon. Plus, we can also still tribute the opponent's monsters with the field spell, which is really good. Lady of Lament, tribute a monster, you know, get a random normal trap card, which we play a lot of really powerful ones, so we can tribute their monsters under the field spell, or tribute herself to get the same effect. Ash Blossom, I'm sorry, but you know, I don't like to play expensive cards, but this is the best chance here. You're just going to have to bite the bullet if you want to play this and play this card. Allure of Darkness, because we have a crap ton of targets. 1 Pot of Desires, because we still need to get to the cards as fast as we possibly can. Terraforming, for obvious reasons. Monster Reborn, hopefully to either bring back Red Eyes Darkness Metal so we can summon Diabolos off of it, you know. And Diabolos is pretty good as a dragon, because let's face it, being able to just summon this guy and then say, yeah, I'm going to put a card on the top of your deck, or I'm going to, I'm untargetable by card effects, which is pretty good, just saying. Called by the Grave, getting rid of pesky hand traps, because people are going to use this on us, among other things, so we need to be able to say, screw you to that. This card is the MVP of this deck, Enemy Controller. Basically, if your opponent has 2 monsters, we can tribute one of their monsters under the field spell. We can tribute one of their monsters to take their other monster. This is mind control that we can tribute and use for like Xyz, Link, and Synchros, essentially. Under this field spell, under the field spell, it just becomes Change of Heart, essentially. Full Force Virus, because we're playing the 3 virus cards here that I think are worth playing right here. We're also playing a few weird cards, like for example Dark Light. We tribute a dark monster with 1500 or more attack, which is most of them except for Lady of Lament here, because she's going to be half most of the time. And then we're playing Storming Mirror Force, because this can really screw over an opponent, because they're going to have, most of the time, most players cannot get more than maybe 2 negates on the field. You will waste you will waste those negates long before you get to the battle phase, and if you attack at the battle phase, you're going to lose your negate. You're walking negates most of the time. Now, that being said, this extra deck, by the way, is also subject to change. The only thing I really used was the Stardust Dragons for Malefic, and then, of course, the Wee Witch here. The rest is to change it up to your personal play preference, or what you can afford, because you're looking at least spending, I want to say, assuming you get, like, common versions of the cards that you can't buy off the bat, you're looking at least spending maybe close to $100. You know, because you'll need, you know, 30, another 40. Yeah, you're going to at least spend $100 to get this deck if you decide to play it, or, you know what I mean. So to cut corners, you want to, you know, use the cards you have. So this is the only card you'll really need for the extra deck, along with Stardust Dragon, but these come common, so that's the good news. Admittedly, this is the best I could come up with. If you guys want to help me make this, in the future, I mean, I do have another dragon deck I have to build. Somebody wants an updated Disaster Dragon, because the one where I was honoring Amanda LaPalme back when she played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when she played her Disaster Dragon deck, I created basically a Dragon Stun, which I may do an updated version of that to give that person what they wanted, was a Disaster Dragon. But here you go. For the person who requested a Hopeless Dragon deck, you have a Hopeless Virus Dragon deck. I hope you enjoy. To be honest with you, until Red MD becomes at least a 2-of, I don't think you're going to be able to logistically resurrect the Hopeless Dragon deck, at least in its, to where it looks a little more like it used to, and make it playable for today's modern game. This is the best I could come up with. I'm sorry if you guys feel like I failed you. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just this is the best I could come up with. I literally spent 2 days. It is Sunday night right now, and I am still. You guys are going to see this Monday. It was supposed to be on Sunday, but I literally spent my entire weekend trying to build this deck and make it work, and this is the best I could do. So, I hope you forgive me, and make sure you leave pointers in the comments below. Also, real quick, guys, before I get out of here, I do have a shout-out for a friend of mine, and I also want to shout out my other channel. So, the friend of mine, her name is Shane Riley. She is a personal friend of mine, and she has a Etsy store, and she is selling these really artistic-looking dresses. So if there's a lady, if you guys who are watching me have a lady in your life, or maybe maybe you got a sibling or a sister who's got a birthday coming up, or maybe you just want to go ahead and get, Christmas knocked out of the way. I'm sure there's a bunch of you who celebrate Christmas in my audience. These dresses are really artistic. They can be used for cosplay purposes too. So make sure you go check those out. There will be a link in the description to that Etsy store. So make sure you go help out my friend if you can. And if you really want to help me personally out, you can go check out my recent death battle video I did, where I did Godzilla versus Ultraman. So if you guys want to help that out, there will be a link to that also in the description and or the pinned comment below. And there will probably be an end card for that video as well. So do me a favor, go check that out. Tell me what you think. And I will see you guys next time. Peace!